You're listening to Clash Royale Radio with Dylan and Caleb in 3, 2, 1.
And welcome back to Clash Royale Radio, episode number 44. I am your host, Dylan. And guys, this week we got a brand new Evo, the Hunter, and then we got balance changes, and we're going to be doing the card MVP for the February season. So let's go. Let's first start out with Clash news. What's been going around a lot, and right now, like Clash Royale, on their Twitter page or their X page or whatever, they have been releasing a new ladder. I mean, that's all they said with a question mark. New ladder, question mark. Very, very interesting stuff. And on top of that, they've been posting some more yesterday of this time of this recording, and they're not going to have any Evos or tower troops. So it honestly sounds like they're going like an OG ladder deal. Dude, I am super pumped. That's literally what it sounds like. They're going back to like 2016 or 2017, possibly, only having, 50-some cards. So I was talking a little bit on Discord, and a lot of people are like, yeah, 3M's going to be pretty good. You probably got your giant players are coming back. Probably log bait 2.6 is going to be huge, probably. So a lot of the OG decks are going to be very, very hot. And this is all speculation, but they're really leaking it to where it sounds like they're going to be doing a OG, kind of like Fortnite. Fortnite did like an OG season or so. I played a little bit whenever they did the OG deal, but I am just super excited for that. Also, guys, last time we had a podcast, it was a month ago, and we talked about this Super Bowl. Well, I really, really, really do not want to talk about the Super Bowl, but man, absolutely embarrassing. The Chiefs threw out they weren't even there. The Chiefs were not there. But give credit to Philadelphia Eagles. They were a monster, and they definitely deserved it. They every aspect of the game, they just control. They controlled the whole game. It was just very frustrating as a Chiefs fan. Philadelphia. I mean, I love Philadelphia. It's probably my second favorite team. So it's actually kind of crazy that my first and my second team made it to the Super Bowl. I'm glad that Jalen Hurts got his Super Bowl. They're gonna have to put a lot more respect on him as well. And then Saquon, what a great story Saquon Barkley was, man. Crazy good. And then he just signed a huge contract. I think it was like the highest paid running back ever. Super, super bummed out that the Chiefs could not pull out the three-peat. So Caleb was pretty bummed about that as well. I mean, obviously every Chiefs fan, I wish it was just at least close. If we lost by a field goal, or losing by a field goal really sucks. I mean, I couldn't. That's just. But I mean, I'd rather lose by a field goal than to lose by 20 points. And it was actually worse than that because, we scored 2 touchdowns when it didn't even matter against their second string. So it really did not matter. Honestly, I don't know. Patrick Mahomes, he threw terrible stuff. His decision making, I think he felt like he had to put the cape on and to make hero ball. And he had to do it himself, which a lot of times he's, fairly good at. But against this defense that Philadelphia's got, it's a different story. It's a totally different story. So congrats, Yeti. Hopefully he enjoyed the parade. And it's really cool. So anyway, let's get right in. Okay, first off, let's go to a comment. Hudson B on Spotify. He said, "These are so fun to listen to before bed. Thank you. Also, skeletons are the best card in the game and always have been. I noticed your intro or your outro is from GarageBand too." So let's address this first. He said also thank you, or he loves listening to this, and thank you for all of this. I'm very thankful for that. Thank you so much for that. I'm glad you love listening to these. Honestly, it's a lot of fun making these. And it's always been my dream to be part of a podcast, whatever it was. I'm glad we did a podcast over Clash Royale, something that I really, really love and passionate about. And then he also said the skeletons are the best card in the game. I definitely disagree with that, especially, I don't know when you sent this off, when he commented. It could have been a couple of months ago. It's just one of the things that I was checking through my my feed and saw that one. I decided to put it on the pod. But, skeletons were really good. But after they got the nerf, now there's only 3, not 4. And I think they don't spawn as quickly. They've really, really slid down. They're really good still defensively. Great cycle cards. Like it's still a really good card. It's one cycle, but it's not like a win condition, which it should not have been. So it's really good defensively, but I wouldn't say it's the best card in the game necessarily. I mean, you can still get that split aspect of it, but it's a lot harder now because now 1 only goes on one side and 2 go on the other. So yeah, not really good offensively now, but fairly strong defensively, as long as you count their spells and whatever. And then he also said, I noticed your outro is from GarageBand as well. So yeah, pretty cool story actually. So we me and Caleb, we were like, okay, yeah, let's do a podcast together. And then we're trying to figure out what kind of like topics or what kind of podcast do we want to do? And, we threw out some games. Yeah, I think Minecraft was one. Obviously Clash Royale was one. We also had some like this top 10 again kind of theme that we wanted to do. But anyway, when we said Clash Royale, it really like threw a spark at us. I'm like, wow, this is good. We should do this. So, I'm the tech guy, Caleb, he doesn't really do much technology wise, but so I'm the tech guy. And back in school, we had a class over GarageBand in computer class, I guess. It was like 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, maybe somewhere in there, but absolutely loved it. I love GarageBand, but we decided to do this podcast over Clash Royale. So I had to get like an intro and an outro. So an intro, I found the first outro is a deal on YouTube, which is a royalty free. You just got to, put it on the notes and you're able to use it. And then in an outro, I figured like, I want something like somewhat like casual, but like, I don't know, just felt like an outro music. You know what I mean? So I started messing around with GarageBand and I was like, wow, we should do this. So yeah, I put all that together and decided to send it off and used it ever since. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think it's a perfect outro. So I'm not trying to, yeah, I think it's a really good outro. But thanks, Hudson, for the comment. All right, guys, let's go to the brand new Evolution, the Hunter. So pretty crazy stuff. When this card was like released, like leaked out, it looked absolutely broken. And me and Karate were just like dumbfounded for Lava players. There was like no way you could play Lava with this because it just seemed absolutely broken. But the Evolution Hunter is a 2-cycled card, 2-cycled evolution, and it's got like a net gun. That is its ability. So before his first attack, Evolved Hunter shoots a net that locks to the nearest target and it pulls it to the ground for 4 seconds. And if I'm not mistaken, if it still shoots that same, like, let's say a Lava Hound and it shoots it the first time, brings it down, as long as it's still shooting, I think it just stays on the net. And guys, it does not fire. I think, honestly, well, okay, let's just go to this way. It is not broken like we kind of thought it was going to be. I love the aspect of like the idea of this card. It's a like a new interaction that we have never seen before, like a flying card going towards the ground so your ground troops attack that card. Very, very unique. Very, very creative. I love this. And no perfect way to do it to a hunter, because a hunter has, nets and traps and stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. But like I said, it is not a broken card. And one of the reasons why I think it's not broken, and I think it's like really, really, it's solid, but like I think it does not need a nerf at all, and definitely not a buff. But one of the reasons why is because, well, it's a 2-cycled, so it takes a while as well. But then it's also like the meta right now is not suitable really unless you're playing against like a Golem or a Lava Hound, so to speak, or maybe a Giant or something like that. And the reason is, or RG, I guess. RG would be another one that'd be good against when you have Evolution Hunter. But right now the meta is really like a bait style meta. You know, you got a lot of log bait and stuff like that. You got wall breaker bait, recruits. So it's really not very useful. I mean, against recruits, it's decent because it does spread and stuff like that. But like with going against like a log bait deck, it doesn't get that much value. And honestly, you don't really want to play it. You know, you're gonna kind of wasting 4 elixir. Like, yeah, it'll kind of do a good amount of damage against like a goblin gang and stuff like that. But like, it doesn't do a near enough job. And you can have a way better like card to do that against a log bait deck. But yeah, I think overall the Evolution Hunter is very, very solid. If anything, like if they need to nerf this thing, I think they need to make it at least to where if it's in the net, you know, it gets to stun for 4 seconds, but then at least it gets to shoot. You know what I mean? Like if an Eye Dragon gets entrapped into the net, it doesn't shoot for 4 seconds, and then after that, it's able to melt stuff down. I don't know. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts on that. If they really need to nerf it, which I really don't think they do. I think it's good where it's at. But like I said, the meta is not in the Hunter's favor, and when the meta does, you're going to get a ton of value for the Evolution Hunter. But yeah, I'm going to put a voting on Spotify for you guys, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts on the Evolution Hunter. Is it broken? Like, does it need a nerf? Like, yeah, is it broken or is it just fine? I'll probably do 3: broken, fine, needs a buff. All right, next up, guys, let's go to the balance changes, and these balance changes are pretty crazy. And I think they did a fantastic job. So this is the final balance changes. So the number 1, the arrows. Now, I didn't even know this, but they reduced the radius. It was 4 tiles. Now it's 3.5 tiles. That's a 13% decrease. So that's very wild. Now, there's a few people that are saying that like arrows is broke is useless now. They broke the card and can't use it now. I very highly I do not agree with that comment. I think it's still a very strong card. I think it definitely needed it because it was very strong. And when we go through the card MVP and all the stats and stuff like that, we'll talk about the arrows. But yeah, it is very, very strong. And I think this nerf is what it needed. I think just, it's kind of small. It's a half a tile small, so the radius is just a tiny bit smaller. But we'll see how that goes. But as I'm playing right now, guys, so many people are still playing arrows, and it just still feels like the same. So, yeah. Number 2, another nerf, the log, which is very, very crazy. They have nerfed the tower damage. It was 58 damage, and now it does 44. That's a 24% decrease. So I think this is fine. I mean, I think log was decent. I think they could have left it alone, but honestly, you're just messing with tower damage. It still does the knockback. It does like the, it keeps the damage towards the troops, so there's no like interaction change there. I think, a 24% decrease on the tower is totally fine with me. I don't have a problem with this. I do not think it's going to kill the card. Obviously, a lot of people are still using it, and log is just really log is not made to kill towers down. I know, like, it's not supposed to be a cycle card to kill down your towers. Like, obviously, yeah, if you get their tower down to like 100, you need 2 to 3 logs, but it's really not supposed to be made for that. So I think this is a perfect nerf for the log. But honestly, they could have left it alone as well and would have been just fine. So let's go to the next one, the cannon. Cannon, one of the best buildings in the game. It is the best building in the game. but they're doing the hit speed 10% less. So very, very small, but yeah, I think it's still a strong building for sure. Still 3 Elixir. The evolution is still very, very strong, I think. So, the explosion when it goes down on the evolution is pretty nuts, especially when you're going against like a log bait player or something like that. But yeah, it's still a very strong card, but it just definitely needed it. Let's go to the Rage. The effect is a 50% effect duration. This is crazy. This is a lot. So it's only 1 second effect now. So very, very wild. And it's the same thing with the Lumberjack and the Evolution Lumberjack as well. So whenever it dies, it only has that rage for 1 second. Let's go to number 5, the Rune Giant. The HP gets an 11% decrease. So it was at 2,800 to now 2,500. And then they also changed the enchantment linger time. So I think it's whenever it chants a troop, and if it dies, it used to be infinity, but now it only holds it for 5 seconds. This is great. I think this is great. I think infinity was a little too much. I think 5 seconds is a little too weak. I think honestly you could probably do like 10 seconds, but honestly like 10 seconds is is pretty crazy. And having a card last for 10 seconds in a match is actually, I mean, you know what I mean? Like not like crazy, like a Golem can last or a Lava Hound can last 10 seconds, obviously, but like a Dark Goblin or something like that lasting for 10 seconds is very unlikely. So, I mean, I guess 5 seconds is plenty, because if you did 10 seconds, it's yeah, I don't know. It's not going to be really a thing. But that is all the nerfs. So let's go to the buffs. Number 6, we got the E-Wiz getting a 5% damage buff. 110 to 116 now. I have been seeing a lot of the E-Wiz. E-Wiz is very strong. Okay, let's take that back. It's not very strong, but I'm seeing a lot of Inferno Dragon. So, and also like Mighty Miner. So seeing like an E-Wiz is pretty common now, and it does splash damage whenever it falls down and goes to the arena. So yeah, I think it needed it. Number 8, the Chef. The max cook speed went to 24 seconds to now 21 seconds. So it's a 14% increase. And then a min cook speed, which, see, like this, I don't really understand. I wish they can kind of like a minimum. I'm guessing that's what it is. So max and minimum. So the minimum, it was 40 and now it's 35. So I believe the max like cook speed is when you have both your towers and still standing and they're not doing anything. It's going to be 21 seconds. And then if you have one, let's see, like the minimum cook speed. So I think if they're both attacking, instead of 40 seconds, it's 35 seconds. I believe that's what that is. So I think it's fine. I think it's because it really went downhill. But like, people are still using it with Lava Hound, Golem, a lot of the beatdown decks, P.E.K.K.A.s. So it's still pretty good. Still kind of annoying. I can't say. I think they could have still left it alone. But I don't think it really broke the card, and I don't think they pushed it too far. You know what I mean? So I think I think they did fine on that. I think it's pretty small. It's a small buff. Okay, that was number 8, but I did miss one. Number 7, the Snowball gets a buff. The Snowball gets a slow down duration buff, 33% longer. So instead of 3 seconds, it's all the way up to 4 seconds. This is crazy. I think the Snowball's back, possibly. I mean, we're seeing that. I'm seeing the Balloon Cycle deck like crazy. I've been seeing some Expo decks with Snowball now, Evolution Snowball. So, yeah, I think this is a great buff. I'd like to see Snowball be kind of broken, honestly. I love Snowball. I think I would really love to use Snowball. I wish Snowball would be really good with Expo somehow. But you can get some nasty, nasty locks with the Evolution Snowball, and sometimes people are just not even ready for it. It's just pretty crazy. And as long as you hit all their troops in that Snowball, it's an automatic lock for your Expo. So yeah, it's just, you can really do some damage with and surprise people with the Evolution Snowball. So I love this buff. All right, let's go back on track here. Number 9, we got a rework they're showing it as a bug, and it's the Princess. The deploy time was 1 second. Now they're doing it 1.2 seconds. So I think they nerfed that, which is good, but it's very, very small, I think. I mean, 20% sounds like a lot, but still, Princess of the Bridge, people are not ready for it. But it's a little bit more, you can catch it just a tiny bit easier, which is good. And then the first hit time went to 0.5 seconds to 0.3. So right when it gets to the bridge and right when it's on target, it's pretty much an automatic lock. It's going. So make sure you have it's kind of a rework. I'm surprised they kind of put that as a bug symbol, but it kind of feels more of a rework. But let's go to the last one, number 10. This one they are showing it as a rework, which is a straight up buff. But it's the Void. The strike frequency went to 1.3 seconds to now every second. And it's a 30% increase on that. So, which is good. Void, it did nothing to the Void still. The Void is still not as broken as it was before, which is fine. It's only a 3 elixir card. But yeah. But overall, guys, I think these balance changes are so good. I can't really tell you which one that they didn't really need. Maybe the log probably didn't need it. Maybe the chef, I don't know. But yeah, if anything, the log didn't necessarily need it. But I am happy. I'm very happy with all these changes. I thought they did a really, really good job with these. And I think they're really talking to the community on what they want. And this is pretty much what I would have as well. I think I would like to see this is when I think I still would like to see a Goblin Giant nerf, because I think it's just very, very good still. And I really want to see that card die, but that's just me, and a P.E.K.K.A nerf as well. But I'm just hating at this point. So yeah, I think overall they did a fantastic job with these balance changes. All right, guys, the card MVP for last season. I didn't get a chance to get a recording last week, but this is for the February season. But let's go right into it, guys. Very, very. I can't say it was very close. When the Lumberjack Evolution came out, it was just everywhere. And then they emergency nerfed it, and it was still everywhere. And, Lumberjack anyway is pretty good, especially with balloon decks and stuff like that. But now with this evolution where this ghost appears and it's invisible and you can't kill it, nothing. You can only distract it. And it still does so much stuff, damage to your troops that's around that Rage. Now, Rage did get a nerf, so it does kind of kill the ghost aspect of it. But yeah, there was no question about it. The Evolution Lumberjack will win your February card MVP. And let's go through the stats. The rating was a 53. The usage rate was 21%, which is pretty crazy. That is a pretty big number, and it was climbing. The win percentage was a 51, which if you have a usage rating of 21% to where, a lot of people are using it, you're going to get a 50-ish, maybe 49% win rate. It'd be different if the next one, number 3, was Heal Spirit. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I could not believe it. This is I think last 7 days of Ultimate Champion, and Heal Spirit was number 3. I could not believe it. And they have Lumberjack, if you guys are wondering. Lumberjack was number 2, and number 1 was Goblin Giant, which was card MVP last season in January. But yeah, the Evolution Lumberjack was just crazy, and it's still really good. If you do not if you let that Lumberjack get anywhere close to your tower and you don't have anything for it, it's gonna do a lot of damage. I think it's 600 damage or something like that. But yeah, it's still very strong, and I can't wait to know, like, when it gets closer to the end of this season, to what card MVP would be next. But Lumberjack Evolution was your card MVP for February. And then we'll go to the best spell in the game, and that was Arrows. Arrows, hands down. And I think it's still going to be Arrows. Arrows is still very strong, and I think it's just because of the meta. The meta is just so baity, and you have to have Arrows. You have to have a log. You almost have to have like a log and Arrows now, or Zap with it. So like, it's very, very baity. And Arrows is still very strong. I would not be surprised if Arrows wins the best building in the best spell in the game. But yeah, it's still very strong. And the best building in the game last season goes to Cannon and Evolution Cannon. That's fine, because just Cannon in general, really so strong. 3 elixir, shoots really fast. You can pull a lot of stuff. It's really good for baity decks. So. But yeah, very, very strong card. It's hard to beat. I can't really tell you another building that comes comes close. I've been seeing a lot more Eye Tower now, which is kind of weird because how much baity it is. I would say Bomb Tower is pretty close now, because I'd probably say Bomb Tower is the closest to Cannon. We are seeing that Wall Breaker deck, that Wall Breaker Miner deck with Bomb Tower, so. And we do got a few comments in here. The Movement. He said, I think the most versatile card in Clash Royale is the Guards. And he pretty much said it because it counters any ground card, and it can't be taken out by a small spell. So that's an interesting point, because the Guards are really good defensive card. You can't just log them, and you can't just arrow them. I think when they buffed the Guards where, arrows did not kill them, it was perfect. I think that was great. You'd have to, arrows and log or arrows zap, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's very versatile card. I think the most versatile card in the entire game, though, it's got to be the Knight or even Skeletons. So it's a very common card, or even the log. Log, you can use it in any, almost any deck. So it's very versatile. But yeah, Guards, I would say they're pretty versatile as well. They've got to be like the top 10, top 5 cards of the top versatile cards. So yeah. And then Gus, he said, love the episode. Honestly, glad the Eagles won. Man. Yeah, let's not get started with that. Yeah, like I said in the beginning of this episode, Eagles did so good. Honestly, I'm just proud of the Chiefs. They did something that nobody has ever done, is make it to 3 Super Bowls back to back to back. So, obviously, it's not like a huge deal. It's a way bigger deal if you actually win that game. But honestly, it's probably a good thing, good for the NFL, to have a different team win the Super Bowl for a chance. So, but like I said, Eagles did very, very good. I was very shocked how good they were, and it was hard to pinpoint, did the Chiefs absolutely didn't show up, or did the Eagles show out? It was just hard to pinpoint there, and I think both occurred. So. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you guys listening into this episode. Also, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys join that Discord. The link will be down in the show notes below. Stop by, guys. We've been getting a few members lately. So for those of you that don't know what Discord is basically like a huge chat room. People just join into the server, which is the Discord server. And you can just chat up. There's different chat boxes. And one's like a general chat. You got another one where we have a sports chat. We have a Clash of Clans chat, Brawl Stars chat. I think a Minecraft one. No, I don't think we have a Minecraft one. But yeah, we have a few games as well. We also have a coaching channel, like a coaching chat room as well. So if you want to get some free coaching, you can send out your deck. We'll have some. We have some coaches that would love to dissect and help you out and stuff like that. So. Yeah, if you guys haven't joined the Discord, please do. It's a great time, and also I post a lot there. You can talk to me anytime. And you also get notified when I upload a podcast, so an episode. So I try to use Twitter the best I can, but I always forget. So Twitter is not, or X is not the best. I got to get in that groove, man. I got to get in that groove. But Discord has been my main priority. And love the family and love the group of guys that we have on Discord, and would love to have you guys be a part of it. So without further ado, guys, obviously thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.